Hi guys, welcome back. Let's talk about 4 habits that highly successful people have. And all of these are backed up by psychology. Have you guys ever met someone who is incredibly successful and thought to yourself, how are they so disciplined? Because on the outside, it just looks like they have a lot more motivation than the average person. Maybe they have more willpower, more drive, but psychology tells us an entirely different story. The people who are usually successful aren't the ones making hundreds of better decisions every day. They've simply built small habits that compound over time. And I think that is the part that we underestimate. We chase big breakthroughs when our lives are really shaped by the tiny choices that we repeat every single day. There's a line in the book, The Success Principles by Jack Canfield, that perfectly captures this. It says that success is the sum of small efforts repeated day in and day out. And science agrees. Your brain is capable of changing through repetition. Every repeated behavior strengthens the neural pathways that are associated with it. So if you want extraordinary results of your life, do not focus on extraordinary actions. Obsess over the ordinary actions that repeat consistently, because consistency is what creates success. Let's get into the 4 habits. Number 1, successful people do not wait for motivation. Motivation is an emotion, and emotions are super unreliable. Some mornings you wake up excited, other mornings you want to genuinely stay in bed. Successful people don't wait for motivation to show up first. Instead, they rely on something that psychologists call implementation intentions. For instance, instead of saying that they're going to work out tomorrow, they simply decide, if it's 7 a.m., I'm going to put on my trainers and leave the house. Do you notice the difference? The decision for them has already been made. There's nothing to negotiate. The more decisions that you move out of the way, the less likely your brain is to talk you out of them. If you catch yourself saying, I'll probably do it later, replace it with a specific plan and watch yourself be more likely to complete the task. Personally, I really like to use Google Calendar and block out every bit of my day that I want to be doing something. And what I realized is that since I started doing this, I actually started getting a lot more done and procrastinate a lot less. What better way to start than take a small step? The second thing that successful people do is that they are willing to be uncomfortable today for a better tomorrow. Our human brains are wired to seek immediate rewards. That's why checking your phone feels easier than reading, why ordering takeout for dinner feels easier than cooking dinner, and why procrastination is so tempting. And obviously this doesn't go for everyone, but majority of people face this. And this is a phenomenon called delayed discounting, our tendency to value immediate rewards over future rewards. Successful people are not immune to this phenomenon. They've only learned to pause before choosing the easier option, which is something you and I are totally capable of as well. They ask themselves, what would future me thank me for? That tiny little pause they take before they make the less beneficial decision changes everything. Because reality is that every time you choose to pick the long-term reward over the short-term one, you're strengthening your mental muscle of self-control. Not perfectly, just consistently. The more you practice a certain skill, the easier it gets over time. And that is because of neuroplasticity in your brain. The third habit that successful people have is that they design their environment instead of relying solely on discipline. Here's something I wish a lot of you to understand. Your environment is stronger than your willpower. Research by the psychologist Wendy Wood has shown a huge proportion of our daily behavior is automatic and heavily influenced by our surroundings. Think about it for a second. If your phone is sitting next to your bed, what are you going to reach for the first thing in the morning? If fruit is hidden in the back of the fridge and unhealthy snacks are lying on the counter, what are you going to grab to eat? Successful people don't always make the right choice because they are stronger, even though they usually are stronger. They've tailored their environment so that they are able to make better decisions in the moment. They make the right choice because they've made it easier by reducing friction. Do you want to read more? Just leave the book on your pillow. Do you want to stop scrolling? Charge your phone across the room. Do you want to eat healthier? Hide the snacks and put the fruits in the front of the fridge. Make it easier for yourself to make the right decision. Tiny changes in your environment can create big changes in your behavior over time. The fourth habit that successful people have is that they don't let one bad day become a bad identity. This is where a lot of us get stuck. When we miss a workout, we suddenly say, I'm not a disciplined person. We might procrastinate once and be entirely convinced that we're lazy people. But psychologist Carol Dweck found that people with a growth mindset see setbacks completely differently. They do not see failure as proof that they are incapable. They see it as feedback, information, or part of the process. One missed day does not erase months of progress. One mistake does not define your identity. Successful people don't succeed because they never fall off track. They succeed because they get back on the track faster than anybody else. So just remember, the faster your recovery from setback, the more likely you are to be successful. As a society, we have definitely romanticized success. We imagine it looks like one life-changing decision, one incredible opportunity that comes our way, one perfect morning routine. But when you zoom out of the picture, you realize that success is surprisingly ordinary. It's choosing the harder conversation, reading the 10 pages, going for that walk, starting before you feel ready, keeping the promise that you made to yourself, eating the fruit instead of the chips. None of those moments are inherently extraordinary, but if you continue to repeat them consistently over time, you will notice yourself growing every single day. That is exactly how compound growth works. You don't notice it while it's happening, just like you don't notice a tree growing every single day. And then one random day, you look back and you realize that you are standing somewhere that your past self could only imagine. And maybe that's what success really is. Not a giant leap, just hundreds and thousands of tiny decisions taken, quietly repeated, until they become who you are. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Comment down below for what you'd like to see next. I hope you guys have an amazing day.